Good evening and welcome to the Bamboo Bar. I'm Cynthia. Nice to have you here. Nice to see some familiar faces and some new ones also. This is Monday Night Jazz. Do I love you? Oh my, do I? Oh my honey, do I do?
Yeah.
And do I need you? Oh my, do I? Oh my honey, do I do? I bless the very day I found you. I wanna spend all my time around you. Do I want you? Oh my, do I? Oh my honey. Baby, I do. Oh, baby, I do. Well, I'm blessed the very day that I found you. I wanna spend all my time around you. Do I want you? Oh my, do I? Honey, do I do?
Full band.
This can't be love because it feels so well. No stars, no sorrows, no sad. This can't be love. I get no dizzy spells. My head is not up in the sky. Well, my heart, it skips a beat. This is too sweet to be loved. I said that this can't be love because it feels so well. But I love the look in your eyes. Well, baby, this can't be love
Yeah.
because it feels so well.
Sounds so good.
No signs,
I like that cha-cha stuff.
no signs. This can't be love. I get no dizzy spells. My head is not up in the sky. Well, you know my heart, it skips a beat. And this is too sweet just to be loved. This can't be love because it feels so well. But I love the look, baby, in your eyes. Can't be love, well, you know that it feels so well. No sun, no sorrows, no sighs. This can't be the love, oh baby, that Cha-cha. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
Let's listen a little more.
Okay.
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ooh, well, 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 well. Yeah, 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 yeah. At last, you know my love has come along. All of my lonely nights are over, and life is like a song. Ooh, yeah, at last. Well, the skies above are so blue, and my heart is wrapped in clover, in clover. Well, now, since the day I first found you, well, I found a dream that I can cling to, a dream that I have never known. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, the thrill I have never known. Well, you just smiled, you smiled, you smiled, and then the spell, it was cast. Yes, it was. And now here we are in heaven, oh, because you are mine at last. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. All right.
Careful, fella.
Okay, so okay, 9 minutes. Let's go. Okay.
Okay.
Gentlemen, Cynthia Utterbach, wonderful, wonderful vocalist. That was sounded so good. And you know what?
Thank you.
That, strangely enough, was my wedding song.
Okay.
It was,
Well,
I don't know.
congratulations.
You
Late
know,
congratulations.
normally I wouldn't, like have a wedding song like that, but it really applied to my husband.
Okay.
Smiled, and then the spell was cast.
There you go.
But you sang that great. That was,
Well,
because
thank
that's,
you.
that's kind of an interesting song to make your own, right? Because
It is.
it's been,
It's because you're going to have a memory somewhere when you sing that song about something and someone. You
Yeah.
know, I don't care how far back you go, it's there. And yeah,
yeah.
it's funny wherever I sing it. Those first few notes, they're applauding. You know, it's hitting home. So it's a go getter. Yeah. But I love that band. That was my band in Thailand at the
Oh,
Mandarin Oriental
oh,
and the Bamboo Bar.
oh, okay,
Great,
right.
great bar for
Yeah.
years, featuring American singers. And I worked there about 13, 14 years. And
Where was that again? In Japan?
Thailand,
Thailand,
Bangkok.
Thailand, right. I actually never got to Thailand.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
only Japan, really.
All right. I never got to Japan. So there you go.
There you go.
But yeah, I worked for the Mandarin chain there for a while with Singapore, Hong Kong, and Bangkok. And
Huh.
but this band at the Bamboo Bar, I'd say the 3 out of the 4 players had been there at least 20 to 25 years. And 2 were Russian, and 2 were Thai. And you close your eyes and, you're like in any studio, any club in the world, So
Yeah.
it was a real blessing.
Yeah. Yeah, they sounded great. And
Yeah.
of course, my impression was they thought, oh, yeah, she's a great singer. I think
Oh,
because of how they play, when they play a certain way, you feel like they're really appreciative of the singer or not.
yeah. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
And you've been there. They're the ones that play all over you.
Yeah.
And I was talking to another fellow singer earlier, and who was saying that there are some musicians that play, and it's like, well, when can I get in there? Can you leave me a hole so I can kind of sing something, even though it's my gig? It's weird, but then they put their head down, and they'll do that. They'll put their head down.
Yeah.
Because they get eye contact, they know that they're supposed to break it on down. Yeah, no, they're gonna put their head down. Like, if I do that, she won't come in. No, I'll get closer to the piano, put my head and sing. I learned the tricks. Like, no, bud, it doesn't go like that. So, we learn to work around those things. So when we are fortunate enough to get players that consider us part of the unit,
Yeah.
and know that we are the front man and they are the side men,
Yeah.
and comp us in that way, it's such joy to work. It really is. It really is. So I've been really blessed. I'd say 90% of the time with that kind of experience. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And when I come across, God, there used to be a place, Red, White, and Blues in Pasadena, and I went there to sit in once, and it was, not that long ago, like 15 years ago or something. So I was already an established singer and had my jam session, for years. And the leader was not there, and he had given the job over to the drummer. What an a-hole this guy was. He treated me like it horribly. And I was really pissed off, and I I wrote to the leader because the leader was a friend of mine, and the leader would never have done that
yeah,
ever. You
yeah,
know, I think the guy was intimidated actually, and that was how he showed it.
could be,
Yeah, by
could
treating
be.
me like crap, and
Yeah,
yeah, just like so that's like so wrong, and as you described, I mean,
yeah,
you're so.
yeah. I had one instance where I was visiting from out of town, and actually it was my hometown, and I went to a local club that a bass player had built up, and he wasn't there. He was outside smoking a cigar or something. Anyway, they were having their jam session, and uh, guys are walking up, with their instruments and starting it. And I'm from the old school that I don't wait to be called up for a jam session. I mean, I figure I'm an instrument just like the cats.
Yeah.
And I've done that all over the world, and it usually isn't a problem. So they were playing all things summertime, like, and it was just rolling along pretty good. So I kind of wandered up, they had the bandstand, and when the horn player, finished, and I wandered over to the mic, and the leader brought the music down, and he says, "You can't do that." And I went, "Excuse me?" you know. He said, we didn't call a singer up. You have to wait until I call you up. I said, well, you didn't call the horn players up either. Now, mind you, the band, they're slowly like playing really slow now. Like, what the hell is going on? People in the audience are like, what? He said, no, it's just not allowed. You just can't come up here until I call you up. I said, well, I'm an instrument. He said, you're just a singer. And I went, oh, you don't know how much trouble you're in, kid. This obviously is your first rodeo. Okay. So as I went to walk off the stage, I said, oh, I gotta get a double of whatever I'm going to drink. And the people in the audience are going, let her sing. Let her sing. It was so crazy. So then the owner comes in, Cecil, and he's like, what's going on? I said, your guy threw me off the stage, told me I couldn't. He said, what? Oh, he's fired. I was like, so it was this big haboo, I'm like, I just want to leave. It was the craziest thing. When I got outside, I went, did that just happen?
That's funny.
What in the world? It was incredible. It was just really bizarre.
It sounds like a lesson that was more for him than anyone.
Oh, yeah.
God went, okay, you need a lesson.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Let her sing. I was like, I'm out of here. Oh, my God. I think that was my wildest jam session ever, that I almost sang in. I think I sang like 8 bars and it was oh Lordy. The things that we endure, I tell you.
Where are you from originally?
Orange, New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I left there in 70, 75, 77, something like that. Went to LA. And I stayed in LA until 1992, I think. 91, 92 is when I went over overseas the first time to Yugoslavia. Because you followed me.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't
Belgrade.
remember that you were there. You weren't there right before me. You were there.
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah. You came right after me.
Oh my God.
I remember because I had like a week down before I was to leave, and the war thing was getting to be really stupid.
Yeah.
And I remember you sang Bell. If I Had a Bell, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And I remember you singing that, and I thought, I like that tune. I'm going to steal that as soon as I leave this place. And but we talked, and we, I don't think we hung because there was a war going on. We couldn't hang,
No, I know, and I'll tell you sometime. I won't talk about the whole thing on here, but I'll tell you because it was a story about me getting out of there because the
Me
war
too.
escalated.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It was
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love the agent that sent me there, and I remember him saying when when he called me about the gig, and I went, Yugoslavia, isn't there a war there? He said, not in the hotel. And I, like an idiot, went anyway.
We were so young.
Yes, we were. Oh my God.
War? What? It's all right. What war? Big deal.
I was so desperate to just say, I went on the road. Yeah, I was
Now,
on the
I have
road,
to
all
say,
right.
that was a nice hotel, though.
Oh, it was very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And
Yeah.
the band was great. I think Mikan Slakovic, didn't he play for you?
Yeah. Was he the pianist?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's now living in San Diego.
Yeah, and I've met his son too. His son lives in LA, and he's a player too.
Okay.
But it's been a
Mikan.
long time.
Well, he goes by Michael now, I think.
Right,
Michael
I think he does. Yeah.
But great piano player.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Really, really great. Yeah. And I ran into him a couple of times, I think, in New York. I think I ran into him and somewhere else. And I would love to go back in the studio with him.
Yeah.
Because he's
was wonderful.
definitely an accompanist. For a singer, he's a dream.
Yeah, he was really great.
Good player.
I'll just tell you one funny thing about when I arrived and I went into the back room because I think my plane got in late. Also, I didn't have I don't know if it was your dress I borrowed, but I didn't have my luggage to begin.
That's right. I kind of remember that.
And so anyway, I went into the back room to meet the guys, and they looked at me and they said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Cathy Segal-Garcia." And they said, "You're not black." And I said, "That's right. I am not black." You know, and they expected a black singer for whatever reason. And they kind of had this little attitude, especially the drummer who I became friends with, after that, of course. So
Oh,
when I went
wow.
out on
I
stage,
never do that.
I called Cheek to Cheek Fast. That's a song I like to do up tempo. And he almost dropped his sticks. And then after that, I guess I was okay. But it was really
Like,
funny. Like, yeah, no,
you borrowed some of my clothes.
I definitely
I
borrowed some
remember that.
dress.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Well, I was a lot smaller than I am now, so you could have gotten into them. But yeah, yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I thought about you often after I left there, and I would watch the news, and I go, "Did she get out of there? Okay."
It was quite the story. I'll tell you later because it's
Yeah, well,
it's
yeah,
an
we'll talk
interesting
about that.
story. And actually, I was in a very I had a very overall this big spiritual lesson that I took with me, which I'll tell you about later. But yeah, it was just how I got out and just the actions of me leaving, and it was really it was a pretty cool experience overall.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, the war, because I had befriended. I don't know if you had befriended any of the just the regular locals, but
Hmm.
I did, and I couldn't. It was just hard to believe that you could hear gun
Yeah.
sounds in the
Yeah.
distance and hang out with these people, and they
Yeah.
were mixed. They were up from everywhere, the
Yeah.
regular people like us, and it was
Exactly.
lunatic politicians,
It was. It was.
like we
Yeah.
know who, you know,
Yeah. It was
create.
very bizarre.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you said, after the gig, sometimes me and the guys would go to this great bakery, and they had this pastry. I forget, Blockovich or something. I don't know what it was called, Blocka or something, but it was just excellent. And we'd be standing outside eating it, and they'd say, "Okay, now we're going to go hang out at such and hang out." And as we're driving, we hear boom, 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 boom. I'm like, really? Are we really going to do this? And they're like, "Yeah, we're good." Oh my God. I said, well, I wanted to go on the road. I just prayed that I get back to LA in one piece. But as it turned out, I never returned to LA.
Oh,
I got as far as Germany, and because it came to the realization that okay, now I go back to LA, and then what? And then what do I do? You know?
yeah.
And I had met a singer by the name of Joan Faulkner, great singer, on a cruise ship,
Uh-huh.
and she lived in Germany. So when I got there at
Wow.
Frankfurt Airport, I called her, and she said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Frankfurt Airport." So this is as far as I could get from Yugoslavia at the moment. And she says, "I'll be there in 15 minutes." And she came and got me, and I lived there until 2009
Oh,
or 10, something like that.
yeah.
And with no job, no
Yeah.
prospect, no one knew me, you
There.
know. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Germany. She
Yeah.
gave me a few gigs, and I started, I rented a little space for 50 Deutschmark a week. Back then it was Deutschmark, and gave voice lessons. And little by little, started doing my thing. And one thing led to another. So it was very, very interesting. And from there, I left and I went to, I worked so much in Asia, I decided to just go ahead and stay there.
Oh,
So then I was there in Thailand until I moved here to Savannah in
wait. So,
2000.
how many years in Germany?
Oh, goodness. From 19, from 1996, 96, 95, 96 until 2000, about 2012. No,
Oh,
it's about 2000. Good Lord, my dates are all messed up.
yeah,
About 2010.
a
Yeah.
long time. I remember knowing that you were in Germany, and then
Yeah.
you went to Thailand for how long?
Yeah. But I would do these, I almost said drive-bys, stopovers. Like when sometimes if I were in Germany and I was going to Thailand, I'd get out and I'd stop in LA for like 2 days to see my family.
Oh,
And then I'd go on because who wants to make that long ride, that, air ride all the way? So I said, I'm going to stop and see my family a couple of days and then I'd head on. One time I remember I came in and had like a week layover and I called you and you gave me a gig. I subbed for you out in
wow.
Valley or somewhere, and that was really cool.
That's great.
And I said, "Hi, this is Cynthia Utterbach. I don't know if you remember me because I always start out with that line." And you said, "Of course I know you. Come in here." And it was a trio of older cats, and it was the easiest gig. It was an eating place, I remember. And when I came in and they were like looking kind of skeptical, and I said, I do straight up stuff in original keys. They were like, whoa, okay. And everybody was happy. That was cool. I'm known as the original key singer.
That's interesting. I mean, do you change the melody or do you?
Every now and then on certain songs, like if you gave me In a Sentimental Mood, it's like,
Are
that's
you
not going to work for me.
are you low or a low
Yeah,
control?
yeah. Hmm.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So I don't know. I played with keys. That wasn't always the case when I was younger. My voice was much higher,
Yeah.
and so and I just thought, how boring to sing in original keys. Of course, I'm gonna get charts made and all of this and all of that. So I went through all that whole process and realized over the years as I brought keys down, I take it a half step down, take it a half step down, take it a half step. I got more comfortable and I looked up and I said, what key is that? They said, that's the original key. I was like, I paid money for those charts. So it just turned out that the majority of the songs that I sing are in original keys. And they're just comfortable keys for me. And every once in a while I'll play with the melodies. But like I said, in a sentimental mood, I stay away. No.
Yeah.
Play it as an instrumental, fellas. I'm not having that.
The other singer that I know who does original keys, but not for the same reason, it was Nancy King. And she did it just because she didn't know any better. She just didn't she didn't read music, never,
Oh, okay.
but she's such a great singer. She listened so much that she heard the songs in original keys,
Okay.
and she'll split up, she'll at the bridge, she'll move it, shift it up an octave or whatever. She's
Yeah.
quite a range actually, but yeah, but you really don't hear about a lot of singers doing women singers doing it in original.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've made a lot of friends with musicians, trust me.
I'm sure.
But now, they've got their books and everything is instantly transposed. They don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah,
Back in the day, they had to read it and transpose it, and
no
the whole
kidding,
nine
man.
yards.
I know.
And I
Back in
go,
the day, you had to learn the music.
yeah. Now it's a whole different ballgame. So
Yeah, it really is.
I said
Uh,
it's easy for you guys now,
so
and
easy.
they still. What gets me is they'll still look up songs that they know they already know.
Yeah,
What's with that?
because
You know, I,
they don't fully know, right?
yeah,
They,
but I remember you.
yeah,
How many times have they played that? And then they're pulling it up. I was like, give me a break. You
yeah,
know this song.
yeah,
They're just afraid to break away from looking at the notes.
yeah,
And it's just really, it's kind of insane. It's
yeah,
a dependency thing.
yeah.
So
Um,
sometimes I tell them, no notebooks on stage, nothing. They play it, and they're so proud of it. Man, I knew the changes, man. I had it down. Yeah, sure you did.
um, I have a quite quick question here from Roland, my friend Roland Askerons. He's asking what your fluency is in the Thai language.
Nitnoy.
Okay. Is that it?
Little. That means little. Oh yeah. I speak taxi Thai. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
That's
And
funny.
that's you get around things, a lot of gestures,
Yeah.
and you get there. That's with all those countries,
Yeah.
taxi Italian, taxi French, you just get through it. Or your very best friend with you is fluent, and you get through it. And
Yeah,
so
I was always
right.
I have friends in Japan who have over the years taught me like dirty lines or
Oh
they
yeah.
get a big kick out of it. They go, Kathy, go ahead, say it. Uh,
And you're so happy to accommodate.
yeah, yeah.
Why are they looking at me like that? Yeah.
So when you were th- was it was it in the 70s that we met and you and Phyllis were doing the workshop at the World Stage?
That's right.
Oh my God.
That's
Wow.
right. Um, Billy Higgins actually um, saw me. Well, the first workshop I did was at a place, I think it was called Six. And Carl Burnett, the drummer,
Yep.
he had started a place on Leimert. And I did that for about maybe close to 2 years, maybe. And the workshops and little theater pieces and stuff. And then Carl was going on the road quite a bit. So he shut the place down and Billie took it over. And I didn't know that because I just knew that, it was closed up and Carl was gone. And I saw Billie in I'll never forget it, the salad dressing aisle of the supermarket. And I looked over, he looked at me, he said, "Hey girl." And I went, "Hi, Billie." And I thought, does he know who I am? He said, "I've been looking for you." And I went, "Really?" He said, "That thing you used to do with Carl, with the singers, the workshop thing."
Oh,
I went, "Yeah." He said, "You want to do that again? Because I got that place and I want to get it going." He said, "I like what you did there. And, what you want to think about it?" I went, "No, I want to do it." And so I think, within the week, I started that there. And so, yeah, Phyllis, in fact, the first one was Dee Dee McNeil, and Phyllis and
oh,
myself started it, the first one. And then we sort of moved over, me and Phyllis moved over to Billie's place and kept it going. And I kept that going until I left for Yugoslavia, actually.
yeah.
And thinking I was going to come back. It was just like a temporary thing, but I didn't. And I heard a coach named Deanie.
You mean Deanie Clark?
Yeah, he
Oh,
had
he was
taken it
wonderful.
over.
He was great.
Yeah, I heard he had passed.
You would have loved knowing him. He was just,
Yeah.
salt of the earth, great singer, great piano player, just great spirit, and he helped a
Wow.
lot of people. He was wonderful.
Yeah. We never met. We had
Oh,
never met. But he had taken it over, and I heard that it was really doing well. So
yeah.
yeah, that was the world stage, and um I really loved doing that because there were so many things I didn't know that everyone assumed that I knew
Yeah.
about singing and
Yeah.
performing and actual audience participation and all those little things that you have to develop as you grow.
Yeah.
And because I was like up front and doing all of these things, it was assumed that I knew all this stuff. But actually, I was learning as the workshop was growing, and different people would come in, and like Jim Gilstrap, he
Hmm.
came in teaching sight singing, and
Oh,
how important it was for singers to be able to read. And I could sight sing, but I didn't take it really seriously. I could get through it, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the first couple of times he called me up there, he said, "Come on up, Cynthia. Let's show them how it was." I was like, "Oh my God." I got
Okay.
lucky. I got lucky. It wasn't a complicated piece, and I got through it. And he said, "Yeah, so see, blah, 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 blah." I'm like sweating bullets. But some of the people that came through there at that workshop were fantastic.
Yeah.
And Horace Silver came through one night
Wow.
and looking for Billie, because a lot of them came in looking for Billie.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would sit in the back and sort of see what was going on, you know. And somebody said, "Hey, Horace Silver's back there." And I said, "Oh, Mr. Silver, we need a keyboardist. Can you come play for us?" And he did. You know, the Heath brothers, they would come in from time to time. They were teaching us how to do fours and eights, you know, and so it was really a great thing. From what I understand, the World Stage still has a workshop going on, vocal workshop.
Yeah, I think they do. I know that they have they through the pandemic they split up the which is probably a good idea. They split up the jam sessions. One is instrumental and one is for vocalists. You know, it's
Mhm.
probably pretty good because, as you know, jam sessions kind of tend to get singer heavy and,
Yeah, or horn heavy.
yeah, or horn heavy. Yeah. My sessions have gone through such huge changes. That first one I had like for 16 years or so. The first 7 years was at the Sportsman's Lodge, and that was the best time ever. It was like a big party. Everybody was
Mm.
sharing, and if you had been a vocalist and come up to the mic, that would have been fine.
Okay,
And it was
without
just
getting thrown off.
no, it was a
Right.
great, great, great session. And then the years after kind of, to me, kind of went a little downhill to what I called mediocre singer sessions, which really
Mhm.
finally drove me to stop because I just couldn't take it anymore. Now I have a nice little once a month session where I do a set and then mostly singers come in, but sometimes a guitar player, horn player.
Mm.
Last time, God, last month, a few weeks ago, the singers all it was packed with singers and kind of the usual suspects of I don't even know, it's somewhere between amateur and semi-pro. And but everybody sounded great. I mean, it was a magical night. Each singer who got up was respected the band supported. The band was a great band too. And it was just like I was like, wow, wow, wow. It's great.
Okay,
Yeah, it was really nice.
nice.
So, but
When
yeah,
it works, it's really nice.
when it
And
works.
yeah, when it works.
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, you and I have been around a long time, and a
Yeah,
lot of stuff.
a long time, a lot of stuff. And I really, the gig that I'm on now here in Savannah, it reminds me a lot of LA. Um, it's a club called Good Times,
Oh,
Good Times Jazz. And um, you can eat. They have New Orleans cuisine mainly, and the trio that I work with, oh, you're going to hear them on one of the YouTube that you have there. They're just so tasty and just really know how to lay a song and work with the singer. I've been there now, uh, I guess about going into my fourth year. Well, we had COVID, so we were down for a year, over a little over a year. So we lost that time. But I just work on Sundays primarily, every Sunday night, and that slot is I've made it like traditional jazz, and so I get the folks that come through, a lot of tourists, because we're right in the tourist zone. So I'll specify, this great jazz club, and I consider myself a traditionalist insofar as music, where
yeah.
back in the day, I would wear my Shaka Khan boots and
Woo, 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 woo.
try to shake it up a little bit. I said, but those days are gone. So, we hope you enjoyed the music. Well, sure enough, somebody will say, "Do you do any I Will Survive?" I said, "No, they do that down the street. You're in the wrong town." Next, it's like, weren't you even listening? Oh, real crazy. Um, so, I try to, what I do with the traditional music is sometimes uh, I get a kick out of uh, playing with the rhythms
Yeah,
because you know how you have to read an audience.
yeah,
And so I look out there and more than half of the room is under 40.
yeah.
So it's like
You want to,
they're not even going to get it.
yeah, right, right.
So we got to go, tap,
Yeah,
tap, tap, tap. And they're already bopping their heads. They're ready to go with you.
yeah,
And then, you come out with a jazz tune. And so I've been finding that to be a lot of fun. That my band really enjoys that, I'm going to do Just Squeeze Me, Cha Cha Cha. The old timers don't particularly like it until I get into it and they go, well, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, that was pretty good. Duke might not slap you for that, it's okay. But I like the versatility of jazz music.
yeah,
I think of all the choices that we could have made for music, um, that's the top of that for me. Because there's so many places you could take it. There's so much you could do with
yeah.
it. And it's been set up for us already because I mean, look at the wonderful words that were written to these songs
Oh, yeah.
that apply today.
Oh, yeah.
And they were so well written,
They're
you know.
timeless. Yeah,
Oh,
timeless songs.
timeless. And I love that about the music from that era. I mean, all the songs written for theater and movies and show tunes. Even some of the show tunes flopped, but as musicians, they were picked up and like what's that one? Da 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 da. Someone to watch over me.
Oh,
That was in a production and that flopped, and but the cats loved the song, and so just started becoming a part of.
are you serious? That's
Yes,
on, wouldn't you say that's one of the most popular songs across the planet?
probably. And it used to be da 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 da. That was the way it was played back then. And so to see how we've slowed it down, cha-cha'd it up, whatever. But it just works. It just works, and it has a verse which I never knew for years. And when I finally learned the verse, I learned that there's verses for
Oh, yeah.
so many of these old songs. Yeah. Dee-da-da-da-da, 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 dee-da-da-da. Yeah, yeah. But the disconnect on some of those songs with these verses,
I know, that's
like,
crazy, man.
how did that verse go with that song?
I have a really nice, if you ever want, I have a really nice, uh, funny little book of verses. Small, it's a booklet. Ross Tompkins gave it to me, and a friend of his wrote it up, found a bunch of the verses that maybe are a little less common. And it's really nice.
Oh, I would love to see that.
I'll make a note that I'll send that to you. Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I've found one in some place I forget now, but like those Hal Leonard books, that size. And I found one and it had verses in there. And I don't know, sometimes you're just too generous. And somebody said, can I borrow it? And it's still there. I don't know. But every time I go to look for it, I remember and I go, who was that? I want to go back.
That's
Because
funny.
I really like learning the verses. Tony Bennett was grand at doing
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and I mean, just setting it up. And I thought, how cool is that? And when you look back on some of the old YouTubes and with Ella, and
Yeah.
they sang the verses,
Yes, they did.
and
I wanna hear you again. Should I go back to the Bamboo Bar or should I go to the other one that we had?
let's go to Detour Ahead because that's the Good Times band that I was just talking about.
Okay.
And that's the one with the red.
This one.
Yeah, that one. This is Detour Ahead from Billie Holiday, recorded this tune back in the day.
Beautiful song.
I love it.
Why am I the only one traveling this way? How strange the road to love can be so easy. Could there be a detour ahead? Wake up, wake up, slow down before you crash, break your heart, you gullible clown. You fool, you're headed in the wrong direction. Could there be a detour ahead? The farther you travel, the more you unravel the web that spins around you. Be careful this time. Don't you see the danger signs? Soft shoulders surround you. Smooth road, clear nights. Oh, lucky me, suddenly I saw the light.
Nice.
I'm turning back away from all that trouble. Smooth road, smooth road, no detour ahead.
Yeah.
road to love can be so easy. Can't there be a detour ahead? Wake up, slow down before you crash, break your heart, you gullible clown. You fool, you're headed in the wrong direction. Could there be a detour ahead? The farther you travel, the more that you unravel the web that spins around you. So be careful this time. Don't you see the danger sign? Soft shoulders surround you. Smooth road, clear night. Lucky me, suddenly I saw the light. I'm turning back away from all my troubles, Smooth road, smooth road. Oh, no detour ahead.
Oh my God.
Smooth
No,
road.
that was really beautiful. Beautiful job.
That was one of my friends that was sitting at the bar. She said, I just decided when I heard the intro, I'm going to just put this on my phone. And that's what that was from.
Oh,
And, I really appreciated that. It's nice to see what you're doing sometimes, you know?
yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. It is
Yeah.
nice. Although I found that sometimes it feels better in the moment than when I go back and listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
I hate when that happens, but I like
Oh,
when it
yeah.
happens the other way, you know. But you know what I was thinking about this, and from time to time I've thought about this. Um, so as I was listening, you know, I was imagining what note I would sing next, and about 60% of the time it was what you sang, right?
Oh,
And you know, after a space,
okay.
right? You know, reach for that one particular note, and it just brings to mind. It's just something interesting, I think, to talk about between two professional singers. Um, let's see. I'm not even sure what the question is. It's just a subject to talk about, I guess. How singers come up in this music, listening and singing, but listening a lot, and then adopt um, the ears of other singers, right? Like if I was listening to Ella Fitzgerald growing up, I would adopt some of Ella Fitzgerald in me, you know?
Mhm.
I just think it's an interesting subject because I think maybe the instrumentalists, they probably notice it amongst like piano players to piano players, etc. But I think it's more obvious. I think it's more obvious in singers, maybe because I'm a singer.
Mhm.
what do you think about that?
Well, I I've tried very hard. I've done a lot of listening because,
Yeah.
especially when you choose to cross over from another form of music into jazz, it requires a lot of listening and understanding of what exactly is happening. And I never really wanted to imitate
Yeah.
because I realized that you can't,
Yeah.
that you can't do it like that. You have to do it like you. So I learned how to start listening for how they interpreted something, what how they measured their words, how they how they put certain inflections in their voice,
Yeah.
rather than trying to copy how they sang a melody or how they did that. I looked more for how they presented it and use that as a tool to help me learn how to present myself. We all have limitations in what we do. I recognize um, that there's certain notes I can think them, but they're not coming out like that. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, there are certain phrases I want to hold that long, and it's not going to happen like that. It's going to be this long, and certain things like that. But how do you work around that, and how do you find ways to make it yours? And I found through listening to not just one or two singers, a ton,
Yeah.
and male and female, and all races, as long as they were singing jazz of some sort and some nature.
Hmm.
And just, I would listen to one song done 15 different ways by 15 different people just to see what the approach was, you know, and realize that I can find my own approach. It's not about copying, it's about finding little things and nuances and things that work for me, that make me feel good about the song. And the head of it is, do you believe in what you're singing? Does this touch you?
Yeah.
Because if it touches you and you present it, it's touching someone. So it's a combination of the listening and absorbing the things that you need to make you stronger in your approach. And that's kind of what I have done in my workup of listening to singers and measuring songs. I, I I get really annoyed and bored when I hear a singer singing I don't know, a Billie Holiday song and singing it, trying to sing it word for word exactly like the recording. Oh my God, if I hear one more singer sing How High the Moon and do that Ella solo, you know the one?
Yeah.
I go nuts. I'm like, check please. I could get out of here. I can't stand
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because you won't do it like that.
Yeah.
So just find your own way, and it's okay. It becomes your identity. She
Hmm.
had her identity. Billie had her identity. You'll never grow into your identity trying to be something else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so in a nutshell, that's my
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah. And of course they're going to get into us, because we listened to it a lot,
Hmm.
and it's going to come out because everything you absorb translates through you.
It does. It does.
Yeah. I'm
You just have to be conscious enough to know that
conscious. That's the that's the key.
just to be conscious. It's like I don't have to just do it exactly like that. I could take it here or take it there. And I appreciate that more. Use
Yeah.
some imagination, you
Yeah.
know.
It's kind of in a funny way, not that we have to wear it on our sleeves, but we, as singers who do it real and be it, be ourselves, we have to be brave. We have to be
Yeah,
brave enough to be
yeah,
ourselves. And as a teacher, right, we see that we deal with that a lot, trying to tell a young student how do you be brave and how do you trust yourself when you don't even know what you can do.
yeah.
And um, yeah, it's really it's great. I mean, talking to you, hearing you sing, it's for me, it really resonates right in here. It's just great. I just love it.
Oh,
It's so real and so solid and beautiful, and real is like kind of the crucial word to me, and that's even
well,
like,
thank you.
yeah. And even in, I talk about this a lot, but actually Gerald Clayton and I had a really good conversation online this week with this. But when you hear what, regardless, a singer or an instrumentalist, just um, blah 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 blah, like uh, doing what they learned, the triplets or the 16th notes or whatever, instead of just being there and doing it,
Hmm.
it's incredibly boring and just
Yeah,
not happy, I mean,
yeah.
I always I always joke like, I have a very high threshold, as I bet you do too, for, I mean, I can put up with a lot of stuff, and kind of steer people in a nice direction,
Hmm.
but I do have a limit.
Yeah,
One of my
I'm with
limits, yeah, one of my limits is hearing and seeing someone who does not respect what's going on. The music, which is a God created, you know, piece of beauty. And when they don't respect that, I actually like get kooky. I lose it. It's almost
yeah.
like turret syndrome. I just like flip out and I have to leave, and yeah. I mean, that just to me is like so horrible. It's like the worst thing you could do. Then when I do hear singers who, especially singers, but all musicians, I mean, that's what just makes us healed and full. And, it's just a great, great thing when the artist can really deliver goods,
Mm,
which is, stems from honesty, you're right?
it does. You
Yeah.
have to go inside, and you're very vulnerable, kind of,
Yeah.
uh, with a lot of that, with most of that, and uh, we feed off of a lot of our own personal experience. We're sharing a lot of us, a lot more than we choose to,
Yeah.
but it just sort of comes automatic if you're true to what you're doing. I got to take a small break.
Okay.
I
I'll
need
go.
I need
I'll go listen to music with four of you.
Okay, I need 2 minutes.
Yeah, and also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Los Angeles, uh, talking about community and wonderful stuff, um, tonight I am singing at Catalina's, and interestingly enough, I realized I've never had my own show at Catalina's over all these years. I have sung in different events that I've created and other people's creations, but I've never had my own show there. So tonight I am performing with 8 players. It's called a nonet because I'm the ninth. And here, let me get big for this. And I would really appreciate your support. I think um, sometimes people don't think I need support like this because I'm active. I'm so active, and they probably think, "Oh, she'll be fine without me." Actually, it's not true. I need you. So, I would really love it so much if you are a person who has thought about supporting me or supported me in different ways, for you to come tonight and see this really beautiful group my friend and bass player John Leftwich arranged the music. And it's just, it's great. It's beautiful. It's like a beautiful piece of cloth that has been woven. And we're recording tomorrow and the next day. So this is a gig and almost like a last rehearsal for the recording. Um, so I'd love to share the music with you. It's a little bit of John Scofield music, Thelonious Monk, Jobim, Vince Mendoza, Cathy Segal-Garcia, a few standards, but it has a very distinct quality. And John Leftwich, if you don't know him, he's a wonderful bass player. He's not on social media very much because he's too busy. He's an engineer. He has a home studio that's great. He works with people like Hubert Laws and Ricky Lee Jones and Melody Gardot, and he's musical director of some of those groups. And he's a wonderful bass player, great human, and going to be so wonderful tonight. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It was going to be Mitchell Long on guitar, but we had to switch over to Will Braun because of a family emergency Mitchell had. So, okay, Cynthia, I was just like shamelessly promoting myself tonight.
Okay. No shame in the game, girl.
Yeah, so I didn't even play you. I'm sorry. I just blabbed on about
You
myself.
just talked about you. Okay. All righty. That's how it goes.
And Joyce, yes, Catalina actually did a GoFundMe. They raised quite a bit of money, like something like $140,000 through this pandemic, and
Wow.
they kept they're there still. It's pretty amazing. I think they're one of the oldest jazz clubs in LA.
Yeah, I would think so. Is the Lighthouse Concerts by the Sea? Are any of that still happening?
Hmm. Well, the lighthouse has gone through some interesting changes. They were the location for the movie La La Land,
Oh,
and they were bought by some other people, and have had a lot of rock there, but they have
oh,
Sunday jazz there. I don't know what they're doing right now, but
hmm.
they probably wouldn't close because it's by the beach. It's a hang,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um, Even though the bathrooms need updating, as you
Okay.
can imagine. But yeah, and oh, concerts by the sea. God, that was a great room, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, yes.
That was so nice.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't, I think that closed a long time ago.
Oh, okay. It goes to show how long I've been gone. Yeah.
Yeah, that was for those of you who don't know, that was this beautiful room on the pier in Redondo Beach. Who
Yeah.
who owned it again? Oh, Howard Rumsey.
Oh, I thought that was the Lighthouse. It wasn't? No, it was Howard Rumsey for the Concerts by the Sea. Yeah, that's right.
That was an incredible room. It
That
had
was.
kind of almost, it was very small, but it had kind of amphitheater
Yeah,
seating, and
yeah,
seating went up, so you
yeah.
never had a bad seat, and then
No,
the stage, and it was just,
I love that room.
God,
Whenever I could get a booking in there, I would be like over the moon.
yeah,
Like great, great room. Hmm.
yeah. And then, I'm going to say this right now. In fact, I'm going to write it down. July 1st, Cynthia
Oh yeah,
will be performing at
right.
the world stage. I will be there. So
Good.
I hope everybody else will be too. You're going to really have. Oh, it's funny. Just as I was writing that, my friend Nora said, when is Cynthia having a show in LA?
Aw.
Yeah,
And
Nora.
I mean, that's just hot off the press too. I
I know.
I can't even tell you who's playing with me, but
So
it'll be fun.
when did you move to you're in Savannah, right?
Yeah, 2014.
Oh,
Mhm.
you've been there a long time.
It wasn't a plan. I mean, a real plan. I didn't know where to move to. My gig in Thailand was dwindling down, and I was just ready to come back to the States. I mean, my grandkids only recognized me from my photo on the refrigerator, And I thought I gotta get back to America and just see what's going on and, try to get back in the mix. And, but where do I move to? And I looked at LA and the surrounding areas and the rents, and it was so high. I thought, my God, is this what's happening here? It was really incredible. I didn't want a roommate. Of course, I wasn't gonna move with my kids anymore. That was out. And so I started looking around. I knew that I needed a place that had an airport. Got to get out quick.
Yeah.
I needed water.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything inland. I wanted coast, and I didn't want snow. I grew up with that.
My husband wants all that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
didn't
I'll
want
see
any of
you
that.
in a year or two.
So my choices dwindled, and I wanted culture. I needed some culture. I needed some action.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be big, but it had to be some.
Yeah.
And I considered Savannah. Another thing that brought me here was I used to be a real readaholic as a young person. I was a nerd, and I read all the time and lived in the library and always looking through books of places to visit and places to go. And I saw the weeping willow trees of Savannah, and just beautiful streets and avenues with these trees hanging down. And I thought, one day I'd like to go there and just experience it, just walk under them. So that was another pull. So I said, I'll go for about a month and see how it is. And so I had an electric keyboard, which I always keep, had that over my shoulder. I looked like a real bohemian, and one suitcase. And I put everything else in storage. And I got here, and on the ride to the hotel, because I didn't know anyone here. I mean, I had to get a hotel in the taxi, and the guy's driving from the airport down this street. When it's about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, I went, oh, there they are, the wonderful weeping willow trees. I've been waiting to see this. And he's like, weeping willow trees? No, ma'am, that's Spanish moss. It's killing the trees. Oh, well, what? Turn around, take me back. Oh, my God. And in the daytime, when I came out, sure enough, it's Spanish moss hanging off all the trees, and it makes it look like weeping willow trees. So I said, well, I'm here now. I'll do a month and a month or two and see how it goes. And then, just like anything else, a month becomes 6 months.
Yeah.
And 6 months becomes a year. I really didn't know any musical people or anything. And just sort of tiptoed out every once in a while to check a jam session. I never sat in, but just watched, from a distance. And I went to, there's an organization here called the Savannah Jazz Association.
They're pretty well known, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I joined, and the lady that was doing the membership thing, she said, you look like a singer. And I said, yeah, I sing a little. And of course I had my cards and the CD with me. She said, you got anything with you? I could get it to Teddy Adams. And because I had just seen the Savannah Jazz Orchestra perform. That was Duke Ellington month, which I think it is now. And they had performed, and I said, yeah, okay, thanks, got her card and went on my merry way. And nothing happened for about 6 months. And then I got a call from her. And she says, oh, this is, Tanya, and I want to apologize. I've been riding around with your CD in my car forever. It was on the front seat, then it was on the back seat, then it was on the floor. Then I finally picked it up and took it in the house, and it sat on stereo. And she said, and I realized today, this is ridiculous. Put the doggone CD in and listen to the girl. She said, I'm so sorry. I should have passed this on so long ago. You would have been working, girl. She said, I just sent some of the music to Teddy Adams, and he'll be calling you. And I looked on my phone, and it was the call for, call waiting or whatever. And there he was. I said, oh, here he is now. She said, girl, he gonna hire you. And that's what happened. And I started working. So I was here like maybe about 7 months, 8 months, and he hired me, and I've been there ever since, working in the club. And really great opportunity. Teddy Adams is like he just got awarded the first jazz uh, humanitarian. How do I want to say it? The most prestigious award you can get for jazz in uh, Savannah or probably Georgia. He received in the last month because he's been a mainstay. He's been in the music business forever, and everyone knows him. And he's like an icon of music. You know, he's written a few books, and of course CDs, and trombone player, plays trombone,
Cool.
and has become a very, very good friend of mine. And he says I'm his favorite jazz singer, and and he uses the word personification. I said you have got to stop using that word, please. But we have a good time on very good times on Sundays, and that's basically me getting here and staying here because I was looking. It's like, well, I'm try someplace else. This doesn't work out, but it kind of did. So
all of those things you were looking for, you found in Savannah.
yeah, sure did. And I like where I live. I live in a little town called Cooler, where their slogan is "It's cooler and cooler," and it's a little town, but not far from Savannah. And actually, I'm wearing a shirt that says the Cooler Juneteenth Committee.
Oh,
Because we are going to be doing Juneteenth celebration here.
oh, good.
And I've been asked to be on the committee. I'm a co-chair for the programming committee, which handles the entertainment. And
So curious. I'm curious. So, you know, is will you make it a celebration or
yes,
I mean,
it'll be an annual event
so
because it's now a public holiday or
yeah,
a holiday. And
so with I'm assuming with along with speakers that
yes,
will be
speakers, dancers.
seriously right?
Actually, we'll be doing it on the grounds of it's called Tanger Outlets, and it's a huge um, outlet center that has a whole lot of shops and a lot of land. And they're working in cooperation with us,
Oh,
where this will be an outdoor event with a full stage and vendors, merchandise vendors, and food trucks, and a health fair tent. Uh,
wow.
pretty big day. And yeah, it will have quite a few different speakers. Some former mayors of Savannah
Yeah.
will be coming and speaking. They are honorary chairpersons on our committee. And some folks that are very learned in like Gullah Geechee culture, which is very big down here.
What is it called?
Hmm?
What did you say?
It's called Gullah, Gullah, Geechee. H. Geechee. I'll have to look that up. Geech, I think.
Gullah
And
Oh, interesting. I've never heard
yeah,
that.
it's really kind of based in South Carolina, and it's a culture of folks that still speak a certain type of language dialect,
Oh,
and they have big festivals and things that they do here, weaving wonderful baskets, and but they have a very rich history. And so we have a couple of people that will be coming to speak about their history and their contributions to Black heritage within the South. And so it's going to be a really festive and great day. And so, yeah, I've been beating the pavement trying to get sponsors. And we do accept donations, anyone listening out there.
well, let me write it down. What should I write? Is there a website?
Yes, there is. It's the Cooler Juneteenth. Well, I'll get it exactly for you while we're talking.
Okay.
I want to get it right.
Yeah.
And
Um,
yeah, but it's the first annual, and
oh, cool.
we're pretty excited about it, and hopefully um, this success will lead to, more to come. And
Yeah.
I think now, last year was the first year that folks were really celebrating the Juneteenth, and there were several events that were happening around um, Georgia, but now it's like really taking off,
Oh,
and people are really getting more and more into it. So
that's
yeah,
great.
it's a pretty exciting.
I think it's so great that it's turned into a holiday. I mean, that's
Yeah,
a way to really spread spread the reality of what happened, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
really. Let's see, that was too easy for me. Coolerjuneteenth.org.
Okay, wait a minute. So, sorry, what was that first word?
Cooler
Oh,
Juneteenth
Hoover, Juneteenth. Oh,
dot org. I'm
dot.
saying cooler, P. Did you say P like Peter?
No. Okay. P like Paul,
Yes.
OOV like Victor.
L like Lucy.
Oh, not V.
Cooler.
Cooler.
Like you're going to the swimming pool.
And then
Cooler.
Juneteenth and TEENTH, right?
Yes. .org.
Okay, I got it. I just
Yeah.
posted that. So,
Great.
yeah, so first annual Juneteenth um, uh, celebration
Celebration.
in Savannah.
Yeah. Well,
Savannah?
it's in Pooler,
Oh,
which is
in
it's
Pooler.
another city in Georgia. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I see it. It came up. This is great. Okay. I'm going to come visit you sometime.
Yeah.
Happened to be on the East Coast during that time, but I'll be too north to come down and visit for that.
Where would you be?
I'll be in well, it's like I'm singing at the Deerhead Inn, which is at the bottom of New York, where it meets Pasadena, and then I'm
Oh,
going
okay.
up to Boston for my for my 50th reunion.
Whoa.
So I have a few gigs, but I'll be there. I'll be
Okay.
hanging out on the East Coast for a few weeks. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, if you get anywhere near me, you got to come down here.
Well,
And
it might be a different trip, but I definitely want to come visit. Maybe, and I'll bring my husband because he's a metal detector, and he's from LA, and he all the things you said that you were looking for,
yeah,
that's what he's looking for.
you
So
may be moving, girl.
I know, man. You never know. It's Savannah.
Yeah, the weather's great. Other than when we have tornado warnings,
Yeah,
then I'm ready to go. And it's like, well, LA has earthquakes, everything, everywhere has something. So what are you gonna do?
true.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But now that I keep working on my house, I don't know if I'll ever leave.
yeah, yeah. How long you been in this house?
20 years.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
It's not that long, but one of my dear friends, actually, she's staying with me right now. She has lived in LA for, I think it's been 40 years, and they moved to Nashville, just like in the last.
Mm,
But she really misses LA. Her life was really very much formed in LA. She's a musician and a singer, and
no,
they were in the studio kind of world, and so I don't know. You never know. But Nashville, wow, it sounds a lot like the northern East Coast. The weather doesn't sound great.
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And yeah, I mean, once you've had a good taste of LA, it takes some real readjustment. You know, I'm for me that going to the water at a heartbeat. Getting to the water and the nightlife and the nighttime that where the air is just seems like it's just perfect. And uh, I it takes a while to get used to not having that. And but then you find you have to adjust.
Yeah.
That's it. When I fly into LA and my kids pick me up, they immediately go to PCH. Like, I gotta see the Pacific before I see anybody, And then I take that smell in, that sea smell,
Yeah.
and I get that in my lungs and say, okay, let's roll. I'm ready to go now. But I gotta have that because that just I in my years before I started traveling, at one point I lived in Marina del Rey for a very short time, and I was like 3 blocks from the beach. And every morning I would get up and I'd do my little jog into the beach and I'd sit there and I'd watch the sea and then I'd go back. And I remember saying to myself after a while, what's on the other side of the water? I want to see what's on the other side. And they say be careful of what you ask for, but that was a good ask because I was able to see the other side.
Yeah.
And when I was on the other side, I'd say, I know what's on the other side. And it just felt like, how you check off your bucket list. And it was just that kind of feeling of doing that. And so whenever I'm back in LA, I always go back and I look and I said, yeah, I know what's on that other side now. And it all kind of falls into place. It's like growing up, and experiencing it and everything. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good life, I want to play something, and I need to go to the ladies' room. So
Okay.
I think I was gonna play some more of the, let's see. Well, I could play more of the Bamboo Bar, or let's see. There's God Bless the Child. There's with Teddy Adams, but I think you said you didn't know really what that's
Yeah.
like.
Do you see Close Your Eyes on there? It doesn't have, it's just the music.
Okay.
But that was the first CD that I made overseas. And it became quite successful.
Let me see.
And
Let me show you what I'm looking at, and then you can direct me a little bit.
okay.
That's not what you're talking about right here, right?
No. It would be well, if you come down, someone has put it on come on.
Well,
Nope.
in here,
I don't know where it is now.
let me put it
Well,
here.
if you go back up, we can do
Close your eyes.
explain. Oh, there. That's the album.
Look how cute you are.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You know how much that look cost me? I tell you. So there's Close Your Eyes.
So the song "Close Your Eyes."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'll be right
But
back.
how cute you are. Cute.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your eyes. Put your head on my shoulder and sleep. Close your eyes. And I will close mine. Close your eyes. When you open them, dear, I'll be near by your side. Oh, this is divine. The music plays something dreamy for dancing. We're here romancing this love holiday. Well, then love will be our guide. Close your eyes. When you open them, dear, I'll be near by your side. Baby, close your eyes. your head on my shoulder, sleep, close your eyes. I will close my eyes. Close your eyes. When you open them, dear, I'll be near by your side. Baby, won't you close your eyes? The music plays something dreamy for dancing. We're here romancing. Love's holiday. Well, and love will be our guide. Close your eyes. When you open them, dear, I'll be near by your side. Oh, baby, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Oh, baby, won't you close your eyes? Baby, won't you close your eyes? Baby, close your eyes. Baby, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Yeah, boy, that sounds great. I'm so happy to connect with you again.
Yeah,
I'm really
it's
thrilled.
been too long.
Yeah, you're such a doll, and you're such a great singer and musician. It's great.
Well, thank you for all of that, and I'm glad this is taped so I can play that whenever I'm feeling down. And
Yeah.
she said,
I had a question here. I hadn't seen it. Let's see. The question was from a singer she's a wonderful singer. She's a student of mine, but she has a really good feeling for it, and she has a very unique sound, kind of like Edith Piaf. She's a tall, slender woman from Italy, and she's lovely. Anyway, she said, "Can you tell us what qualities you look for in musicians? Like, what makes you like one piano player or bass player over another, even when they're pros?" That's a good question.
yeah. I think one of the main things for me is to see how their perception of me as a musician that sings, as opposed to a singer.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I look to see how they sort of present themselves to me. And you could kind of spot it
Yes, you can.
pretty quick, the shifty eyes and like, yeah, well. I look to see that they're well-rounded in insofar as the music. I think it's important, and Billie Higgins had said this to me at one time. Cats should know the lyrics of songs,
Yeah.
instead of just the changes. And I appreciate and respect cats that know the song and not just the changes, because their feeling, their approach is so different. And because they do that, because they have done that homework and done that, there's a closer relationship to what I'm singing and what they're playing. You're a bit closer. Rather, if cats just know the changes, it always feels like they're just playing outside. Yeah, and I'm singing inside,
Yep.
So those are two of my really top things, that respect insofar as me being an instrumental person,
Yeah.
and them taking the time to really know the tunes that they play. Especially, I don't expect it on, you know, everything, but the tunes that are the familiar tunes, I'd say, you know, the top 50 of whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have to know really all the words, but just kind of know the story,
Yeah.
know the storyline, because it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And yeah, one night I recall years ago, I think it was when the world stage was first opening, and we were going to be live on the air with I think it was Loyola Marymount. They had a jazz radio show, and they had the truck that would go around. So they came, they set up in the parking lot behind World Stage, and we were going to be going live on the air with this opening. And Billie had the musicians coming in, and I was there for the audience. You know, I had come in, and of course the place was packed. You know, everybody was real excited. You know, hey, this place is opening. I mean, it had been open. We were doing workshops and things like that, but this was like the official. And the whole band was late. If nobody was there except Billie. And so they're ready to go on the air.
Oh my God.
So Billie looks out and he says, hey girl. Nobody could ever say Cynthia Utterbach, you know. They say little girl. I was called little girl forever. Hey girl, little girl. And I'm looking around and my son is sitting next to me. He says, he's talking about you, Mom. I went, what do you want me for? He says, we're going to have to do this. You know what? So he says, let's give her a hand. Let's give her a hand. Come on up. And then somebody said, oh, Cynthia Utterbach, you know, and I was like, okay. So I get up there and I went, what are we going to do? He said, we're going to make some music till the band get here. We on the air. So he said, I said, okay. And he said, well, you call it. Okay. So he's sitting there. And, you know, Billie always had a big smile. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Totally.
So all I could think of was Girl from Ipanema. So he started, you know, and he's smiling and he's playing. And I got my eyes closed and I'm praying. And it's like, what? And I got into it.
I hope I stay in tune.
Yeah, right. Really. I got into it. And as we were doing it, it was my first realization, because, you know, I'm usually tuning into the piano or tuning into the guitar. So my first realization of him playing the intro, then playing the A, and then playing the bridge, you know, I really got it. And you know, then we went back and we did so and so, and it was just magical because at that moment, I realized the connection there. And I looked back at him and he was just nodding like, yes, yeah, that's it. And the band came in like, I don't know, 2 minutes before we finished. And Billie kind of looked over at him and went, just wait. Yeah. And we finished it. And I don't know, something about my whole thing changed. I got over any fear of playing with one instrument at any time. That's for sure. Yeah. I'll play with a harmonica, a violin, a oboe, you name it. I don't care. If somebody says, you know, we're just going to do you and one instrument, cool. I'm good to go. Yeah. Because after that, the comfort zone he put me in, yeah, so I could learn something was just so big. You know, it was just so big for me. And I every time I would see him, I'd say, you don't know how much I appreciate you. I would call him over in Germany and he'd go, when you coming home? You know? And it was just a really a big thing for me. And I recognize that cats can get kind of lazy, yeah, you know, in maybe not in doing their thing, but when they're accompanying me as an artist, they can get, kind of like, well, it's just, there'll never be another you. And it's just such and such and such. And when it could be so much more if you just take the extra effort. And so when you were asking that question about presentation, it's that kind of respect for the music that kind of ties it all together for us as an artist. And if they just take the time, many of them do, but there's a lot of them that don't, and I try to just deal with the ones that do because it makes the gig magical.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss the magic. I like being in there, and it's every time it's magical. We've done it so long. It's like, why would I want anything less at this time in my life?
Yeah.
Why would I settle for anything less? And you just miss. I don't want to miss those moments. I've worked hard to get to the point where I wanted to be that kind of feeling every time I hit the stage. Every time I sing from my soul, I want to know everybody behind me is playing from theirs. That's too heavy.
Not at all. I was just thinking, I wish I could hug you right now.
Oh,
I mean, that's just so wonderful what you said. It's just delicious. Just
oh,
totally delicious.
it's what I feel,
Yeah.
and
So
pretty
true.
much cats that I work with, they know how I feel because I'm pretty vocal about it.
Yeah.
And but a new cat coming in sometimes, so they'll come in with the same old tired, yeah, 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 and they'll get through one tune, and I'll just bend over and I'll say some special words to them that no one else can hear, and then we good.
That's interesting. Do the words change from player to player, or is it always the same?
It's basically about the same, but they all get the message.
Yeah.
I won't relay what it is, but it works.
That's funny. I think you said what the word you said, well, what I heard, conscious. That's really what it is. It's like I remember playing with this one rock drummer who he played with sticks. It was a jazz gig, and he was real simple. And his time was that kind of time that when you hear it and you connect with it, it's a turn on from the very beginning to the very
Mm,
and I was totally blown away. I was like, oh, I didn't expect it, because I knew he
okay,
was a rock drummer and he was kind of filling in and eh, it was perfect.
cool.
It was perfect. And he was aware, right?
Wow.
Didn't
It
really
makes a
matter.
difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. And I mean, when we step off that stage, we're like still floating,
Yeah.
and that feeling stays with you for a while. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I treasure those guys. When you're speaking of drums and sticks, um, kind of tickles me sometimes when I've worked with some of the really old cats that play brushes throughout, brushes on a medium up. Oh man, that's working. And you get the young cats, they immediately go for the sticks. And I'm like, brushes. Get one brushes on and get up then. Brushes. Or they'll get one stick and one brush. I'm like, brushes. You said medium. Yeah, I did. And then they'll do it, and they realize the whole color of the song changes when you
Yeah.
do it. You can do that. There's no rule that says it's up tempo and I gotta beat the sticks.
Yeah.
So it's the colors of what you do, and I really like that. So I like hearing drummer stories. You know,
I do too. Um,
yeah.
oh, my friend Roland has a beautiful comment. He said, it's guests like Cynthia, like Gerald Clayton, that give me a boost in what they say whenever I'm feeling somewhat down. Thank you for bringing positive people like Cynthia to this forum.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, Roland's good.
I just appreciate the ask, the surprise ask. When I got your email, I said, Cathy, Segal-Garcia, what the heck? You know?
Everybody comes through my mind eventually.
Yeah.
You know,
What the heck is she doing?
people say,
And
well, are you running out of people yet to have on the show? No,
I don't think you could possibly do that.
I don't think so either. There are people
No.
all over the planet, people I know, people I don't know.
Have
Uh,
you had Dee Dee on?
I haven't had her on yet. I think
Okay.
I put out a reach to her. And again, I have a list. I've put out a reach to
I'm
various
sure.
people. And I think she said yes. Some people actually, it's real interesting. Some people actually say, oh, God, I have so little to talk about. I would be so boring. I don't want to do it. I'm like, it's not about,
Really?
it's a hang. We talk
Yeah.
about so many different things. It's not just focused on you. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a communication back and forth.
Yeah.
If I like talking with the person, great. I mean, that's it. It's really
Yeah.
wonderful and fun. It's even better when it's somebody like you who has such a experience, rich experience and a great point of view. Then it's even more, to me, it's more thrilling
Yeah.
because that's what
All
talk.
these years, girl. All these years and all these miles.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, um, somewhere in the back of my mind, I remember meeting you guys, at the world stage and just thinking, I really like Cynthia Utterbach.
Uh,
I remember that feeling, so that always lasts, right? Always
yeah.
lasts. Cheryl Barnes comes to mind. The first time I saw her,
Oh, yeah.
I loved her. I loved her
Yeah.
singing. I loved her, and we're still very dear friends. So,
Okay. I ran into her at the North Sea Jazz Festival one year.
oh,
Yep. Her
uh,
and her husband. And they had extra tickets for Wynton Marsalis. And I didn't, I got the cheaper seats. And so I didn't get that for that show. And she says, here, you could just have these. I went, get out of here. She says, well, her and her husband were surprising each other and they both have bought tickets. So I got to the Wynton Marsalis concert. And it was just, when we saw each other, across the crowds, she was like, Autobot? I was like, Cheryl. It looked like slow motion going toward each other. God, and that's the last time I saw her. But that was a great day. That was the day. I usually am not really scared about trying to make my way backstage and meet someone.
Yeah.
And then when you're in Europe, you could do it all the time because you walk up to them and say, hi, I'm a singer from the States and I just flew in and, I have some story, some tale. And they go on back. So I've met George Benson and, people. So I did that after Wynton Marsalis' show and I went back. And because they'll let you backstage because you look like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So I walk up to his door and I put my hand on the door to knock and this big guy, came to me and said, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, I just want to say hi to Wynton. He said, I don't think he's available right now. I was like, yeah, but he knows. I was going to say he knows me from, and I thought, this guy is way too big. I was like, okay, thank you very much. And I just went my way. And my girlfriend, she said, did you get in? I was like, no. She said, you always get in. I went, this guy was too big. I said, I'll just leave Wynton alone. I'm not going to mess with that, But that was and that was at that show. That was kind of funny. I always think about that.
That's
But
funny.
that's funny. You should say Cheryl Barnes. Yeah, great singer.
By the way, and her last record was one of my desert island records. So good. Really a really great record. I think it's called Listen Here or Listen to That This or something. And it's just
Was it original tune?
Well, I don't know if they wrote any. Phil did some arranging. I don't know if they had original tunes, but Cynthia, it was just such a beautiful record. She sounds so great on this record,
Oh,
and the arrangements are beautiful. And it took her 5 years to make the record because her
whoa.
producer, I forget his name, a very unusual name. He's kind of a famous producer, and his wife unfortunately was going through cancer this during this period.
Oh,
It was really difficult, and but
okay.
he really got her best. He pulled the best out of
Oh,
her.
great.
So beautiful.
And what is it called? Listen.
I think it's called Listen Here or Listen to This. It's her last record. It's on her site. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's just really, really beautiful recording.
Well, I will listen.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Um, so anything else that you would like to say? Um,
Good Lord. Um, hmm. Anyone ever in town coming through Savannah?
so
Look me up
you work every Sunday at
every Sunday from 7 to 10.
and where is that?
It's called Good Times Jazz. It's a restaurant and bar, jazz room, and it's on Broughton Street. But they can always look it up on the internet. There's only one, Good Times Jazz. And they have jazz every Thursday through Sunday. And they just had a guy, Nicholas Beard.
I know him
You know
well. I
the name?
just saw him last like a few days ago.
Okay, he was there 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Around.
cool guy. Very, very Lou Rawls.
Isn't he nice?
He's Lou Rawls back, and we sat and talked for some time, and him and his wife, and we were, he was saying he was going to LA. He said, and he started dropping names. He said, by any chance, do you know Dwight? I said, that's my boy. We brother and sister from another mother,
Yeah, yeah.
and he named a few other people, and he said, oh yeah, you all right, you know the folks. And he kept, while he was up there, he kept looking over. He said, you gonna sing yet? I was like, I'm a guest tonight. I'm drinking and eating. And by the second set, he had just worn me down. He said, I'm just gonna announce you anyway, and you're gonna come up and sing a song.
He probably loved your singing, I'm sure.
But he was really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. He did a couple of Bill Withers tunes too,
Uh-huh.
that you don't hear too much.
Yeah.
His own arrangements. Very, very nice.
He's a beautiful singer.
Very nice.
Yeah,
So
you know who I saw him with? Kevin O'Neill. Kevin O'Neill.
okay.
Nice
I
show.
think he mentioned that.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
really
he mentioned
nice.
that.
There was a singer whose name, do I have it written down? She's from Chicago. I didn't really know her. Oh, Bobby Wilson.
Don't know that name.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
because
was.
he's on like on a tour.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Yeah, Nicholas's. You probably met Nicholas's wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's very cool. We
very
sat together.
good people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I like his show. It was very, very strong show. And I kept thinking to myself, who does that remind me of? Lou Rawls,
Yeah,
you
a
know,
little of Nat King Cole too. You know.
a little bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but Lou Rawls, yeah, even more.
Really, really enjoyed him. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I've got going. And of course, I mentioned the Juneteenth.
Are you
Uh,
teaching as well?
no,
You're not.
I did it for quite a while in Germany because in between gigs it helped me pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I had really gotten away from really teaching vocalists and technique and more in presentation, stage presence, and things like that, which a lot of young people needed. And I don't know, I just got burnt out. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I really haven't been doing that. I took up a hobby of photography
Oh,
because in my travels, I started with those one-way cameras that you used to get. You
yeah,
used to buy these cheapos,
yeah.
and I would always have one in my bag. And wherever I was traveling, I I would see something and I'd snap a picture and I'd put it in the shop. And when I get it back, I go, whoa, that's a good picture. So I blew some up and I did a little art show while I was in Germany. And then I graduated to a larger, cheap camera. But it's just so much to see. And I didn't, this is before phones, when you're doing all the pictures and stuff. I just really enjoyed doing it. And I've realized now I must have over 4,000 pictures in my computer.
Can you show us any at all?
There's some on my website.
Okay. All right. We'll go look.
On my website. And I'm going to try to do a gallery show. Probably.
What is your website? Is it just your name?
Yeah, just my name.com. Looking to see if I have anything.
Well, I can share the screen.
I don't know if you could see this.
Let's see.
It's a picture of a backup singer that's waiting. She's almost sleeping on a wall.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. That's cool.
I try to get people that don't know that they're being photographed. I have a whole series called Players in Motion, and they're different musicians that are playing on screen, and there's one.
Right here.
Fun. Is that me? Fun time. Oh no, come on down. Yeah. Oh well.
That's
I don't know
all.
where my son pushed them.
So
I don't know where he put them. That's my son. He's like. Now here's another one. I don't know if you could see this.
Oh, here, let me get out of here.
The motorcycle guy.
Nice, beautiful.
Cynthia Carter. That was out of a taxi. I was in a taxi and he was right next to me.
Yeah.
And I just take quick shots.
Yeah.
And this one, the last one I'll show you. This is my son, and we were in Dubai. And I said, "Get in the water and put your head down." And that's what we did that with.
That's cool. It's interesting that those 3 shots don't have the faces in them.
Right. I'm not a portrait person or anything like that. Either I do that or I do nature, so that's kind of where I'm headed. I'm trying to do an exhibit probably in the fall, see what I can get going.
Well, cool. I know you have some new fans, and I'll
Great.
expect to see them July 1st at the
Oh, I hope so.
at your gig. And
Yes.
just
We'll do a song together.
absolutely.
Maybe If I Were Belle.
I better practice that.
Me too.
And just before I make a final goodbye, I'm just going to tell people I have the archives out all the rest of the week with Mike Lang and Kate Reed and Karen Hammock and Alexia Vasiliou. And next week I'll start again. Actually, Phyllis will be on Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw that on your site. Great.
And Diane Steinberg Lewis, who's really interesting. I don't know if you know that name. I
don't know that name
her before. You have to check her out a little bit. Really interesting history. I think you'd really like that. But again, if anyone's in town tonight who would like to come out, and please consider supporting me. I would love to have you. At Catalina's tonight. I'm with a No Net. And
Have a good gig.
What else? Thank you. And just for a quick mention, which I'm going to send you some CDs or something. I have these little stickers. I have like different sayings. They're noontime. I'll send you some.
Okay. I'll do that.
Tide is the tide that unites the planet. And you probably would agree with my book. I just came out with this, The Act of Becoming.
Becoming. All right.
It's a little book. It's a little philosophy book about how the same lesson in my life, I know about life, singing technique, and singing jazz. So I've noticed that the same lesson applies to each one of those. But whatever
Okay.
you do, whether you drive a truck or you're a farmer or whatever, it's the same kind of thing. Whatever you know the best in life, the same lesson applies in each of those areas. So that's what my little book
Hmm.
is.
Okay. I like that.
So there you
Send me
go.
that too. Send me all the freebies, girl.
All right. Send me your address and I'll do that.
I will. Thank you so much, Cathy. God bless you. Stay safe in this crazy, crazy world that we're in.
Thank you. And
And
isn't it interesting that you and I didn't even talk about COVID at all, which is great.
no, that's really good.
Yeah.
Keep pruning, girl.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I love you a
Yeah.
lot and thank you so much.
All right, sis. I'll see you in July 1st.
Okay.
All right. God bless you.